14-year-old boy stopped to ask for directions, and the white homeowner came out and tried to kill him with a shotgun. Folks, what is going on? All of these stories. First of all, the man, of course, was found guilty of assault with the intent to do great bodily harm. Talk about making no sense whatsoever, these cases. I'm just trying to understand what in the world is going on in the case, again, where you have these people who are losing their mind. Brittany, you got the guy in Michigan, the brother knocked on the door for direction. For direction. That's all. For directions. Brittany, go ahead.
Can you hear me? So
yeah, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know exactly what's going on. Same thing happened when a young African-American man flagged someone down for directions in North Carolina and was killed. Blackness is far too often seen as a weapon in and of itself in this country. And so whether it's a police officer or a man who claims to be protecting his home, people feel that they have to stand their ground just when we show up in the place. So you know exactly what's happening. It happened to Trayvon Martin. It happened to Jordan Davis. It happened to Tamir Rice. It happened to Sandra Bland. It happened to Eric Garner. It happened to Michael Brown Jr. It happens over and over and over again. And, you know, a lot of people celebrated, understandably, the conviction of Officer Van Dyke in the killing of Laquan McDonald in Chicago just last week. But we have to remember that one case does not a pattern make. That was an anomaly, quite frankly. Less than 1% of officers who are ever even indicted for killing black people are convicted of that crime. And so we have to actually do the work to not only hold people accountable, whether they are officers or citizens, for hurting and injuring and killing our people. We also have to make sure that we're doing the preventive work of stopping these things from happening in the first place.
I'm glad that Brittany brought up the case. I'm glad that, Roland, real quick, I'm glad that Brittany brought up the case of the young man who was stopped, Jonathan Farrell, the football player in North Carolina. And this incident happening outside of Michigan calls to mind Renisha McBride. And I think specifically about this idea about how time and time again, black people are denied their humanity. And some of the viewers may hear that and think that we're being hyperbolic of some sort. But to merely knock on the door for directions because you're lost, or to knock on the door for help because you've been in a car crash, or to walk toward police who in some communities are your sign of safety and help after you've had an accident, but for black people demands the calculated risk of, will this person interpret me as a threat, and thus my life can be in their hands. Time and time again, black Americans are denied their humanity by white Americans. And we're coming to the point where, as Brittany pointed out in the celebration for the guilty verdict against Officer Jason Van Dyke, the mere acknowledgement of our humanity as communicated through justice in the United States criminal justice system is something worth celebrating for us. That's problematic. That's definitely terrible. And it's something that we will continue to take to the streets and beat to the walls of academics, beat to the walls of organizing, beat to the walls of our state legislatures until they realize, as our folks said back in the 1960s, simply put, I am a man or woman.
And I mentioned, folks, Brennan Walker, the 14-year-old young black guy, man from Rochester High School in Detroit. 6 months ago, he knocked on Jeffrey Ziegler's door asking for directions after he missed the school bus. Well, Ziegler comes out with a shotgun. You see the video right here, and fired at him. And then, of course, at first, Ziegler said he tripped and the shotgun went off by mistake. Well, you can see he lied by the videotape. When the cops saw the tape, they knew he was lying. Ziegler's trial on charges of attempted murder went to the jury this morning, and this afternoon, they found him guilty of assault with intent to do great bodily harm. His bail was revoked, and sentencing is scheduled for November 18th. We'll certainly let you know how many years he is going to get in prison.